That clock keeps ticking like a metronome. My thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me just let me That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me just let me That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me Fuck all that shit, just let me go.
Yeah, broadcasting live from the heart of Europe. This is the most badass. You broadcast it all the known land. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Tommy C. This shot for the point. I got the whole damn team here, except Comrade. Where'd he go?
I don't know. I guess he didn't think he was welcome.
Why was
Comrade? You're welcome. Your organs are worth it. Come back, Comrade. Come back.
Come on.
Why did you say horrible things about his organs?
See, okay. First of all, I was making a joke in passing about how Comrade's organs would be worth nothing because of his skin tone. And I understand in public that sounds awful. Yes. But Comrade and I, or us, we're friends. We fuck around as a joke.
Yes.
And then you know those people that try to think they know everything and then they respond and they just they weren't right. They were blatantly not right and they just ruin all the fun. That was Tommy Callanan.
Yeah.
He said, "Well, you know, African Americans tend to have O positive."
I said oddball blood types. That's what I said. You gotta get it right.
And then in reference, he said O positive because that can, anybody can receive O positive.
No.
And I said, Tommy, no. First of all, the first point I get, rare blood type, sure.
Yeah.
But it's fucking O negative, you fucking buffoon. And
well,
he said,
I still have a good one.
Stop.
I still have a good blood type.
Oh, no. Yes. I remember specifically from the military, it's O positive. And I said, no. And I pulled up a fucking blood chart because we're children.
I got Googled. Don't tell me this has never happened to any of you. I got Googled.
But press 1. Okay. Press 1 if this is the Tommy C. usual. He goes to correct someone in good spirits, I guess.
Good faith.
I was joking, ruining my fucking joke. Mm-hmm. But he's like 95% correct.
Yeah, I'll take 95.
Tommy attacks with brute force as if he's right, and then he's 5% wrong.
I wasn't attacking a brute force. I got O negative. I'm a fucking alien.
No, you know what I mean. You're like, you come in with a shot. You're like, fuck you, dumbass. They have rare blood types. It's O positive. I remember from the military. It goes to everyone. And it's like, no. You're just wrong. You're so passionately wrong that I almost don't want to tell you you're wrong.
Why don't you want to tell me I'm wrong? You're like that asshole at a bar that gets an argument, and you're like, you know what? I have my phone right here, and I'll just show you that you're wrong. So which is more annoying?
No, Tommy, it wasn't that hard. It's just me saying, actually, Tommy, it's O negative. No, I remember specifically from the military. It's O positive. No,
my sergeant told me I had the best one. A.B. Morse, thanks for becoming a member. I do appreciate it. Shout out to my idiot fucking friends in the chat. Yes, shout out to my... Nick, are you there? You feeling okay?
Hey, Tommy.
I'm sorry, I'm nervous.
Okay, Nick. We'll carry you through this, Nick.
Yo, Comrade, if you're gonna get in here, I don't know why you left.
Where's Comrade? We were making him listen.
Yeah, I just hate when Tommy steps in with a fucking a force of God and he's wrong, and it happens a lot.
No, it doesn't.
It happens fairly.
I was like
behind. No.
I was like, you said I was 95%. Like I was 95% right. I mean, yeah, I was a little wrong.
Yes.
Wrong.
Okay. You were critically wrong.
No,
you were critically wrong.
Which is the negative. Which is the blood type? Which is the blood type that you can give and receive it? That's the best one. That'd be O negative, I guess, right?
Yeah, O negative you can give to literally anyone.
O is universal. O
is universal in general.
This is the gayest conversation of ever.
This is like the stupidest conversation we've ever.
So fucking gay.
Well, that's good.
It's over
because we're doing Carlos Menza, whatever his fucking name is today. And I think, all right, he's been back on YouTube for what, 2 or 3 months now.
No, that's a good. Hold on, that is a good point.
Yeah.
Cascade said, "Are you guys nurses?" No, That's the point I'm trying to make. None of us are qualified to even have an argument about this. I simply was making a joke, which we were all having a laugh and having a good time just talking.
I ruined it.
And then Tommy had to come out of the woodworks and say, actually.
Then we had the Google guy at the bar. He whipped his phone out. He drew his phone like he's out of his holster, like Billy the Kid. Yeah, so it all got solved. I wonder what blood type. I wonder what gay blood type Carlos Maza has.
G positive, I'm sure.
Probably homo plus.
I think with 2 months, this guy started a serious apocalypse. Oh man, I have a booger up my nose, and it's like tickling, but I can't blow my nose on camera, and I don't see anything to blow it on. It's fucking it's awful. What do I do?
Tell us, chats. What does he do?
Oh, hold on. I can't. Now it's begging to come out. I'm like giving birth to one. Hold on. Let's just do this. Oh, here you go.
Nothing going on here.
Oh, it's bloody. Disgusting.
Lay up the coke.
He's a tampon, Tommy.
Yeah, what the fuck is with this? Maybe I'm dying. I got this bloody nose is coronavirus?
Yeah, corona confirmed.
Oh, God. No, I'm not involved in that. Oh, God, it's awful. It's tickling the shit out of me, and it's making me nuts. Oh, my God, it's the most disgusting thing I ever had to fucking do. Hold on a second. Fuck. A fucking giant booger on my receipt for fucking, like, love jelly. Whatever I brought my wife, I don't fucking know.
That is fucking foul.
Yeah. It's almost worse just to hear it.
Yes, it was. Well, I muted it. I muted it for everybody.
I mean, in fairness, I'm a fucking idiot. The stream started playing again, and I thought Tommy grossed himself out so much that he redid the intro, and we were starting over.
It out later.
And then I realized,
yeah, it was a professional. Thank you, Baba Boy. Yeah. Well, Carlos Maza. Weren't we talking about him? All right. I promised to do this shit.
At some point,
I'm gonna
get
do
to
it.
that.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Carlos Maza, of course, he's the Vox guy that pissed and moaned that YouTube was against gay creators because I guess they allowed Steven Crowder last year to call him a lesbian queer. And
that's a lot of money,
that ended with Steven Crowder losing his. I'll do it again if you donate more, Mike the Bike. Thanks.
Dude, that was a good throwback, Mike. I respect that.
Yeah.
I got the reference.
Val? How is that? How's a good reference?
Just forget it.
Don't confuse the boomer. We're never gonna hear this.
Yes,
story.
I'm trying to get through this because I know I'm like the last guy to get to this, but it was the most interesting. But now that we're talking about blood types, I don't know where I'm going to do. So Carlos Maza, he pissed and moaned. He started an apocalypse. He got a bunch of channels terminated. And then like that, he got bounced or left Vox News Media. He's come back about 3 months ago, and he doesn't have as many subs as this channel, which says a lot. If you make it big on like a commercial channel, like one backed, that does not mean you're going to get subs on your own, especially after doing what he did. And of course, I think he blocks his likes and dislikes. Well, Carlos is, I mean, I'm not even like, this isn't like hyperbole. He's a Marxist, and he spews Marxist, propaganda. And as it turns out, he flew a little bit too close to the Democratic establishment sun, and his wings have burned, and he plummets to the earth like Icarus. And I think it's over for him. Like, done, finished, back to mom. Because it turns out, not only did Carlos Maza grow up rich, we're not talking like, mom and dad had 2 or 3 million in the blank. Mom and dad sold their company for billions of dollars. Billions. So what he did last week, because James Carville was bitching about, what's his name, Bernie Sanders? James Carville was bitching about Bernie Sanders. So Carville, or Maza found it in his heart to expose him for being rich. As it turns out, Carlos Maza is richer. He could buy and sell James Carville. Carlos Maza doesn't like rich people. Social media, the media socialists with more than 150,000 followers on Twitter and YouTube combined regular uses of his platform to rail against the wealthy and powerful and urges fans to be skeptical of their opinions. Just found out James Carville, who spends his time lecturing Democrats of being too far left, he lives in an absolutely obscene 4-story mansion, Maza said. In one such example from February, blasting longtime Democratic strategist for posting a photo of Carville's own home onto his Twitter account. Dear God, can we stop taking political advice from the ultra wealthy? You really have to respect this guy's grift. I think he has a Patreon. This motherfucker. Constantly,
yeah, but Tommy, I'm having this weird deja vu moment, like a gay brown guy from a wealthy background.
I told the other guys not to do this. No, we were not going. Like toes. Whoops. He's not a public figure. Leave him alone. Yeah, but don't think when this story broke, a lot of people in the Shot from the Point newsroom didn't think the same damn thing.
Sorry. I didn't get the memo.
No, I didn't give you the memo. I'm sorry. But it did cross everybody's mind. And there does seem to be a certain type that goes for these far left principles. People that wanted for nothing their entire lives. That's Carlos Maza wanted for nothing. And by the way, his opinion doesn't have any more or less value because his parents are billionaires. What has less value is he's running around telling people not to listen to rich people because they're rich. If we apply, he actively hid the fact that his parents were billionaires. Billion. And you see the way this guy lives. Dear God, can we stop taking political advice from the ultra wealthy, he moaned. You really have to respect this guy's grift, constantly dressing in normal clothes on TV to feign relatability while, do you see the way fucking Carville dresses? While living like this, a masterful con artist. And if I'm not mistaken, you go look it up. Look up, Vault, you're on the duty right now. Look up where James Carville grew up. And let's contrast to during trends. We should treat gay people gay people the same way we treat straight people, eating them.
Louisiana.
What part does it say?
Carville.
You're kidding me.
Seriously.
Yeah.
It's a neighborhood in St. Gabriel.
Oh, that's a poor neighborhood if I'm not mistaken, isn't it?
I don't know.
Look into that too. Find out the kind, because judging by the way Carville talks, I don't think he grew up in the lap of luxury. He had to earn it and move his way in. We should treat gay people. Where's he from? What does Daddy do?
Well, it's St. Gabriel, Louisiana, and the population in 2010 was just over 6,000, like 6,600.
Oh, so that means when he grew up, so he's about 70 years old. That means when he grew up in the 50s and 60s, it's probably less.
Yeah.
And if it's less, more than likely down there in that part of the country, in that part of the South, that's probably poverty. If
it's 12 miles
That's
south
a lot
of
of money,
Baton
I
Rouge.
guess, for a person of color.
Probably perfect. He does have a Patreon. Sorry for the spelling. Look at his YouTube channel. All right, his Patreon.
Yeah,
That's
he does.
We treat gay people to eat. We treat gay people the same way we treat straight people, eating them when they get too rich, he said in another post. Like any good online socialist, Maza raises money for the internet presence through a Patreon account where his comrades, a word that he used to describe his supporter, can fund him in increments of $2, $5, and $10. And probably more, I guess, if they wanted. The Chad Kaiser commie versus the Rouge and Taupes ripoff. Here we go. And here's the best part. I want you to notice. Just found out James Carville spends his time lecturing Democrats. Look what he does here. And I think he's still got these tweets up, if I'm not mistaken. He puts Carville's, this is key, he puts Carville's home up, which, by the way, is fucking beautiful. All right?
You know, Tommy, it's kind of weird. That looks like a picture you'd use when something is up for sale, like in real estate.
Look how
Doesn't that
fucking pink this is. What are they, Italian? Holy shit!
No, look at the wife. She's wearing pink. Obviously, she's the one who designed this fucking place.
This is what happened when poor people get rich. They make everything pink. That's disgusting. Look at that.
My fucking eyes hurt.
That's what happens when poor people come into a lot of money. They make things ridiculous. No class.
This is visual proof of when you let your wife win. When you finally give up and do what you want. Look at that. He is defeated.
You're defeated. She's a Republican too. His wiki section is devoted to harassment by Stephen Crabtree. All there is about him being a Cuban minority. What a piece of shit. And you know what makes him even more of a fucking piece of shit? The suffering Cubans have to go through on a daily basis, still to this day. But according to Bernie Sanders, they have a good literacy program. Yeah, the type of suffering that I remember this woman, Zelda, she was from Cuba. She told she was in grade school when Castro took over. The murders, the disappearing family members, and this jackfuck was lucky to grow up in our country, and his parents were patient zero on an up-and-coming software fucking company. Unbelievable. Unfucking believable. This is what I told Tobes, actually, now that we brought it up. I don't want people like you in charge because you never worked an honest day in your life. And you never, ever, ever, you haven't opened a business. You haven't worked on the working class level. Nothing. None of it. You have no life experience to tell people how to fucking live. And that's how, and I'm stealing this from Sargon, but he said it perfectly. Communism is a rich kid's puzzle. And it's always been. It's how do we do it right this time? Or how do we do it right that time? Even though history tells you it ends in blood. But this guy who comes from a Cuban background, Cuban, his own people, oppressed to at levels you can't imagine. And he's for this kind of shit. Disgusting. I don't understand. And I used to ask my dad this when I was a kid. Like the commies kept killing long after the Nazis were gone. What gives them a pass? And my dad would say because they won World War II. This is no different than fucking, sucking off these South American dictators, and Castro is really no different than an alt-right guy sucking off Hitler. You really have to respect this guy's grift. Yeah, they made all their money in public. I will say this, though. How did James Carville make this kind of fucking money? He was just a Republican. Well, they pay him well. Got Bill Clinton elected. That's what happens when you get Bill Clinton elected.
Salary, yeah, why not?
Yeah, it was mostly public money his whole life. But I tell you what. Coming from Nowheresville in Louisiana, and digging your way up. What does he have, a Marine Corps hat on? Oh, I bet he worked. He's 7 years old. Does that make him a Vietnam vet? Oh, I bet he worked his ass off. Because that means he's Vietnam age. Carlos Maza never worked a day in his fucking life. I don't even like. Well, I don't dislike James Carville. But
he was a veteran.
He was a veteran.
He was a veteran. Yeah.
Where was he? Vietnam?
No shit, Vol. He just wears the hat for fun.
Well, some guys do. Some guys do that. I hate that. And a Democrat would do that. No, was he a Marine? Was he a Marine?
Yeah, he was a Marine.
Yeah,
Marine.
Yeah, let me tell you something. One day in the Marine Corps was tougher than any day that fucking. And it was during Vietnam.
Yep.
Unfucking believable.
66 to
and he took his poverty, worked it into the military, came out a big Democratic strategist, had one of the biggest victories to the Democratic Party, so he gets a big check when he probably speaks and advises. Sounds like he earned that shit. How does a fucking nowhere boy from Louisiana jump into the really one of the fastest lanes in the Beltway in Washington, D.C.? He didn't do it with daddy's money, I guarantee you.
His grandfather served in World War II? No, his father. His father.
No,
his father. Yeah.
Grandfather's probably a World War I veteran.
World War II.
Yeah, Carville's old enough to be my father's age. Well, he's about my dad's age. Through this, his clan, Millennium Fire Bands, has connected multiple Florida mega millions a $7.1 million pad in the Upper West Side purchased under the LLC, and a yacht by luxury boat maker Donzi. You know, it's funny because Carl Maza would live in a world where houses like this don't get built. That means a lot of working class people are out of business. And people are finding that in Queens right now when AOC chased out Amazon. They just went somewhere else. Where did they go? Do you know, Verse?
No,
Less jobs over there. Let's see. Maza's mother, Vivian Maza, was one of the first employees in Ultimate Software, a Florida-based behemoth that now employs 5,000 people. Starting in 1990 as an office manager, she ultimately rose to become the group's chief people officer. What the fuck does that mean? In 2004. In addition to her job, Vivian Maza all developed a very close personal relationship with the company's founder, Scott Shear. So close, the independent assessment of the company in 2016 cited a relationship of a cooperative governance concern. I have no idea what that means. The report said the pair was believed to be more than just co-workers and have a familial relationship. All right. The two became engaged. The couples lived together for years, with Shear being the de facto stepfather of Carlos. Sounds like some white privilege, motherfucker. Shear? That's a German name.
So that's why he hates his parents.
Yeah, no wonder.
Because, yeah.
Public records show that Vivian, Scott, Carlos, and sister Isabel all registered to vote at the 5-bedroom, 8-bathroom waterfront palace in Boca Raton, Florida. The property sold to him in 2018 for $10.8 million. According to the reality website Willow, Shear also unloaded a 4-bedroom, 4-bath home in Weston, Florida for $1.8 million. That's the little house in 2015. Vivian's currently resides in the 4.4 2-bedroom, 3 luxury condo in Fort Lauderdale, where she lists her primary residence according to 2002 report. In the same LLC purchase, $7 million condo in the Upper West Side of Manhattan. For those who are not of the East Coast, as am I, that's the best place to live in almost the entire East Coast. That is like the most kick-ass. And this, by the way, and notice this, it's from Realtor.com. This right here, that's where they lived. Absolutely beautiful. That's something to be proud of. But in Carlos's world, that place wouldn't even be built.
Dude, that's something you fucking work for. That's something you set as a goal.
Well, you know, you got to get lucky too. You know, like right time, like 1990, you know, by 1995, everybody had a copy of Windows 95. Everybody's getting computers. It was right time, right place. It's like anything. You know, look at somebody like Keemstar. You know, when this whole drama thing started becoming something online, he was on the ground floor. He gets the million. That's the way it works. But in a world that these things would never happen. They would never, ever happen. While serving as CEO at Ultimate Software, Shear was one of the most handsomely compensated CEOs in the country. In 2005, he took a $38 million, CBS News reported. In 2000 years, Shear's total stock and options in Ultimate were valued at $17 million, with shares selling at the time for about $35 in 2019. The company was sold for $11 billion with a B dollars. $11 billion. Now, he didn't get all of that, but I bet he got one of them. The stock going for $331, almost certainly making Shear and the family 9 figures, if not billionaires. So he's close if he's not there. It's not clear how much Vivian Shear actively supported Maza's lifestyle, but the evidence suggests the family has been happy to pitch in to help the socialist message. Ironic, isn't it? Ironic that Cubans are doing that. Both Shear and Vivian Maza were listed as comrades. So they donate to his Patreon. Oh, all the horrors in the 20th century. You know, the one that just ended 20 years ago. And you can believe in this horse shit. And I tell you something, there's plenty of people still alive that remember it. If you were my age, in your 40s, you remember it as a young kid. If you're in your 50s, you remember it in your early 20s or a teenager. If you're in 60s, you suffered under it as an adult. Go talk to some Eastern Europeans about what Carlos Maza's idea brings. Doesn't bring innovation. Nobody's a billionaire. Oh, thank God. It brings horror and blood and control.
And they're still kind of shitholes.
Yeah.
Those
oh
countries.
God. You want to be depressed as fuck? Go to Dresden, Germany. I've been there twice. It is a beautiful city. Then you start walking around and you realize nobody's there. It doesn't bustle like other cities. The entire fucking city's a tax write-off. They had to build it from the ground up after the bombing. But it also was under the Eastern Bloc. That's right. Where it rotted for years. It doesn't even feel like Germany. The people are different. They're quieter. There's not that much activity on the streets as there is in other German cities. They're still affected by this Carlos Maza's idea, who he says, well, we're going to get it right this time. You know, that no true Scotsman fallacy.
Yeah.
That fails every single time. But no. Brilliant Carlos Maza, who I'm pretty sure has never paid rent in his life. The only reason he was able to become a fucking YouTuber is his parents. By the way, I don't necessarily have a problem with that either. I got a problem with a guy telling people how to live. This guy is giving TED Talks where he's talked about silencing and deplatforming people. He's also talked about violence against his opposition. He's an authoritarian to the bone. And the funny thing now is Carlos is no longer on the side of socialism, where he can say, because people will now use him because he is an authoritarian, as the guy. This is why you don't want to go this direction, because you get guys like Carlos Maza. No, he's different. He's not one of us. No, we'll get it right this time. It's a game only rich people play.
Look at Venezuela.
Venezuela, joke. And I tell you something, 10 fucking years ago, even 11, 12, when that motherfucker was in charge over there, I remember Sean Penn screaming at the top of his lung, it's not a communist dictatorship. It's not. Yeah, and officially it never was.
That's a lot of money, I guess, for a person.
Whatever the fuck it is. Leave a like on the stream if you're non-black nibba like blowbacks. I'll play that clip at the end. Little blowbacks. It's just truly, truly unbelievable. But Carlos isn't done there. No. Carlos is done. In true Carlos Maza fashion, New York Post reporter deletes tweets that expose socialist YouTuber's wealthy background to get his Twitter account back. Oh, that's right. They hit this guy, John Levine. Why don't you pull the Jew card, John? Why not? Right? They hit this guy, John Levine, because get this, he doxed. Even though this fucking house is on the goddamn market, he doxed. This is what John Levine got fucking clipped for. This is the Twitter rule he broke. The very public figure's house that's listed on Real-talk.com. When Carlos Maza did the same motherfucking thing. And it's still up now. And it's still up right now. So don't give me this bullshit. There's no fucking bias. The only guys that get demonetized, if they're liberal, they're anti-establishment liberals. And pretty much everybody else is libertarian or conservative. This is horse shit. And Carlos Maza is personally responsible for Steven Crowder's monetization go away, and he talks openly about deplatforming people that disagree with him. He is a Nazi to the bone. Because that's what a Nazi really is. It's somebody who's in control of everything. The only difference is, I suppose, Nazis do it over class. Carlos Maza, or race. Carlos Maza does it because of class. Apparently he wants to make everybody the same class. Or maybe just two. Government and everybody impoverished. Because that's what it usually works. You work for government, just like the Nazi Party, or you're impoverished. Actually, come to think of it, it's probably better off being a far-right dictatorship. There wasn't massive poverty in Germany. Everywhere Carlos Maza's ideas have gone have led to two classes. Government class and everybody else impoverished. And what was James Carville's crime? Well, he doesn't like Bernie Sanders. He doesn't think he can win. And maybe James Carville was right. Because Joe Biden, who probably is a fucking communist himself, he's just smart enough to hide it, is leading upwards of 25 points in Michigan right now. We've gone from Bernie running away from it, running away with it, to looks like Biden's got this in the bag. You know what that means? Look at the last Super Tuesday. All southern states. Americans don't want this shit. Not yet, Bernie. Bernie Sanders, who never saw a left-wing dictatorship that he didn't see the good part of. They had a literacy. Well, Hitler liked fucking dogs. Get the fuck out of here. It's just as disgusting to look at the bright side of the Third Reich. Just as disgusting. Bernie Sanders, I'm going to spend $30 trillion and over $100 trillion in a 10-year period. I don't know, Bernie. The Americans don't produce that much tax revenue if you charge them at 100% over a 10-year period. Wow, the only way you probably could pay that if you started seizing people's property. Oh, I'm not a communist. Then how else are you going to do it? And that's what it really is. At the end of the day, with socialists, Marxists, or whatever fucking ridiculous definition debate they want to get you in to take away from the fact that they're authoritarians. You know what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Oh, I'm not a socialist. I'm an anarchist socialist. Or I'm not a socialist. That's not really socialism. This is socialism. And that's communism. That's not, that debate. Well, here's my fucking theory. It all goes down the same road and ends at communism. And then when communism doesn't work, they have to hold it together. Because guys like Carlos Maza, who probably sees himself giving the bread off the trucks, has to protect his job when the economy falls apart. So, Bernie's probably going to get crushed. Just shows you that, actually, Tobes used to sit on here, I think, Verse, didn't he go on and on about how people and how farmers are American farmers are so into this ideology and they're receptive to it? I guess not. Because the left-leaning people in this country are starting to reject it. And why shouldn't they reject Carlos Maza, a person who hasn't worked in a day? A person who has never given anything back. He's done nothing but take either from his parents and more than likely your tax revenue. He has nothing to show for. 20,000 subs less than this channel with the type of exposure he got. That means Keemstar is more powerful than Vox. He's living with he's living off his parents. There's no way he can keep the lifestyle he's keeping up. No way.
But Tommy,
he would have to be making tens of millions of dollars a year. But you want to listen to him. He knows something? Well, it has nothing to do with the fact that he's rich. It's that he's historically wrong. And the fact is he talks about fucking violence towards the opposition and he tries to deplatform people. He is not a free speech guy. He is a communist. He's the worst kind, and he's every bit as disgusting and repulsive as the most disgusting, repulsive Nazi that you know. But you probably don't know one, do you? I bet you know a few commies. So, this reporter, John Levine, for doing the same thing Carlos Maza did, got his Twitter taken away from him. Probably. Carlos Maza's stepdad's big in the tech industry. I wonder how that happened.
Your phone calls.
Yeah.
You know
how that happened. Wonder how that happened. What a fucking coincidence. And we're not talking, this isn't some schmuck YouTuber. This is a guy that's got a blue check mark too. The excuse is always used on Twitter. Well, they protect the reporters because they're part of the news cycle. And that's why. No, they don't. They protect left-wing reporters. You fucking doxed him. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah. Get the fuck out of here. I've heard rumors of a conservative trying to buy out Jack. I'm all for it.
Oh, God, I hope so.
I guarantee you. They won't go silencing people like fucking Carlos Maza, like Carlos Maza wants to do to everybody else.
Ooh, running right. You want to respond to that?
Bring it on.
He's right there.
Oh, yeah, go look at that.
Come on in. I'm not answering your fucking things today.
calling someone communist because
No. First of all, he calls himself a communist, Running Riot. Mm-hmm. It's not a fucking big deal. And here's an example that I gave you before. He's going to play the definition game. Here's the thing. Your left-wing extremism leads to death, leads to misery. And you don't know it because you never had to experience it. You've never traveled anywhere to find out what the commies left behind, both in South America and Eastern Europe.
A person of color.
You just think it'll work. Well, here, let me tell you something. You start taxing people like this, there's not going to be no billionaires because there's going to be nothing in it for them. And then where are you going to get all the money? Where are you going to get it to redistribute it? Because what it really is about is you want to get as many, and this is you too, Running Riot, you want to get as many fucking people, starting with minorities, on the dole so you can control them. Social heroin. You don't give a fuck about blacks or gays. You use their insecurities
money, I guess,
and their jealousies against other Americans so you can keep the people you want in power. There's nothing more sick and disgusting than that. Nothing. And the thing is, you rail about capitalism, yet places like Google are controlled by your sick and twisted, failed time and time again ideology that leads to death, destruction, racism, and bigotry as well. Ask how minorities were treated in the former Soviet Union or in Eastern Germany. Oh, God help you if you're brown down in South America. Because usually the whiteys control things down there, too. You get everything that Marx didn't want, a classless society, except you get two. You get a government class, and you get everybody's impoverished. And it's a lot easier to control people that way. Because you got all the guns, got all the money, and you can sprinkle it out by telling people they're going to get something for nothing. And of course, there is no such thing. Bernie Sanders was stupid enough to tweet out today. What did he say? The coronavirus, if they come up with a vaccine for the coronavirus, it should be for free. Well, who's going to make it for free? Because considering nothing in life is free, my fucking 78-year-old fucking 15-year-old friend, because he's emotionally 15. What about the people that put the time to make it? What about the logistics to send it out all over the world? That should be free? Everybody should work for free? No, they shouldn't. The world doesn't move without money. And just because you take it away and put a certain group of people like Carlos Maza in charge of it doesn't mean it gets it doesn't mean anything gets done. In fact, more than likely, the things you take for granted that get done well through the companies that you deal with, if the government was in charge of it, it would be like going to the DMV every fucking day for something else, for food, for clothing, for survival. That's exactly where they want you, especially minorities. Because
rations.
Yeah, exactly. They want that's the one thing. I had this Vietnam veteran because he was one thing he learned about commies from the Vietcong. There's just the impoverished people and the people that hand the bread off the trucks. And there's a lot of people out there that want to be that because it's the ultimate virtue signal. It's the zenith of virtue signaling, handing the bread. Well, I like to live in a society where you don't have to hand that bread off. And historically, Bernie Sanders' ideas, Carlos Maza's ideas get you that bread truck. Every time. Running Riot said, well, I won't have to pay for this, and I won't have to pay for that. Well, what happens when the money runs out? When there's no billionaires? There's no millionaires. It's not worth it. I move up I make more money, I end up giving more to the government. Maybe I shouldn't work as fucking hard. I only got one fucking life. That's the one thing they always forget. They think guys like Donald Trump and Jeff Bezos are just going to keep working their fucking ass off. And Vince McMahon, 17 hours a day. If the government takes the bulk of their money. No, they'll quit. And that means everybody gets fired. And why we have the richest people like Ted Turner and Carlos Maza bitch about the rich. Well, good thing you flew too much to the sun, close to the sun, because it looks like not everybody in the Democratic Party is completely fucking insane and wants to put a guy in office like Bernie Sanders, who wined and dined and honeymooned while other Russian dissidents were being tortured and fucking killed. Well, you know, when a dictatorship does something good, you have to point out what they could do good, like a literacy program. But if you defy them, they will kill you. That's the downside. Disgusting. Repulsive. Now, I don't think I have to say this, but I probably will. Certainly not all liberals. But once you cross this plane, this extremism, you're every bit as disgusting as the alt-right, in my opinion. I'll take your calls.
You're
right
like
now.
far left, alt
The system
left.
sucks for everybody else, yeah. You don't know what a sucky system looks like. You have no fucking clue, Running Riot. You're a privilege beyond your wildest dreams. I have seen poverty like you have never seen it. You don't know poverty. And you could drive through any fucking ghetto in California, and you don't know shit until you've been around the world and seen their poverty. You know nothing.
That's
You're
a lot of
spoiled
money,
brat.
I guess, for a person of color.
And destroying everybody else's wealth is not going to fix those horrors. All right. I'll take calls. No, he's not. Biden's no better. In fact, he's just like Carlos. He's just smart enough to hide it. He's seen as the middle of the road.
What the fuck? Biden is gonna cure cancer and Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Sure. I don't know. He's running for Senate, I heard. Yeah, I literally don't know a single commie that isn't a yuppie. I didn't know one either. The only guys I knew that grew up in, well, they were middle class too, like the guys in Rage Against the Machine. I think they were all middle class.
Surprise.
They became rich.
Exactly. I don't think
That's
any of
why
them grew up in a
comics.
ghetto. I mean, I love the band. Don't get me wrong. The band's awesome.
Yeah, I like it too.
Yeah, great band.
But the tickets to their shows are like 300 euros.
Three.
Communism.
Well, somebody's
Great.
got to pay
I
for the
love it.
fucking amps and the travel and the people that work there.
Eat the rich.
Yeah, eat the rich. Eat the rich.
Eat the rich.
Yeah. And when I had tickets to Beastie Boys, Rage Against the Machine, and I gave them up when I found out they're supporting this jackass in Philadelphia that murdered a cop. Guy fucking, guy got a gunfight with a cop. They both shot each other. But this guy, Mahood Muhammad, I can't forget his fucking name, stood over the cop and finished him off. Yet he's a fucking victim because he was black and Muslim. Bullshit. And that cop's wife has chased Tom Morello down everywhere he's went to try to raise money for it. And when they found out on K-Rock in New York, they dumped the fucking show. Beastie Boys and Rage Against the Machine when they're at their height. Dumped them. Said, get the fuck out of here. We're not giving away your tickets. Because that's what they are. Yeah. It wasn't that kind of Muslim.
No.
It was like, no, motherfucker, I'm Muslim. It was like that.
A Muslim bitch.
A Muslim
You know
bitch.
I'm a rock pro bitch.
Yeah. Trump 2020. Grab by the pussy part 2. Yeah. Well, they said that. You know my favorite part of Grab by the pussy was? When Rachel Maddow, it's over. It's over. It's done. He said, grab her by the pussy, and the whole country didn't care. That was the best. I enjoyed that.
Everyone to have free college. What a waste of fucking money.
College.
Yeah. Yeah. What if everybody goes? What would it be worth? How do you separate yourself from everybody else?
Not even that.
Yeah, I went to college. Yeah, everybody did. Get in line. Get in line, dude.
Those, like the not mass majority, but those people that are really fucking stupid that you're talking about, how are they going to benefit from college other than us wasting money on them by them failing and not giving a fuck because they're not interested in it? Why would you give them an opportunity that they don't want?
Well,
I mean, we have
you put everybody in college
and
you discourage business. Nobody will open up their own businesses, and there's no way to get FU money. And FU money is what liberals hate the most. They hate FU money. They hate FU money.
We already waste money. Cool, so we'll just waste more.
Yeah, waste more.
Fantastic.
His logic is he's
Get more loans from China. Why not?
Who's in here?
Snappo.
What do you want, Kami?
Oh, wait, what?
What do you want, Kami?
Not got me answer.
Oh shit, what's up?
What's up? What are you doing here?
What's up, guys?
What are you doing here? Thumbnail man?
I don't know. What are you guys doing?
Are you drunk? Are you drunk?
Are you guys
Hitting
Are
me.
you guys streaming?
Yes,
No,
we are.
No, we're not. We're
Why
just
the fuck you pick
playing
Ranger?
Apex. Playing Apex. Yeah.
Get them the fuck out of here.
Dr. Photoshop, Tommy. You don't understand.
I'd say he's drunk, but he's too young to drink. Oh, wait a minute. He's Irish. He's never too young to drink. And he's from the old. He's old country. Happy birthday, Terry! In the chat there.
Yay.
Happy birthday, Jerry.
Happy birthday.
Absolute fucking downs.
What's the matter with you?
Step up. Step up.
Staffo? Oh, he's fine.
Yeah, he needs step up.
He's only 17. He makes I'll give Staffo this. He made a style thumbnail in 2018 and 19 that, well, he was making everybody's thumbnail. So a lot of people started copying his style. I'll give him that. He knows everybody. Tax the mega rich, their fair share. There is no fair share. Bernie wants to tax everybody making over $29,000. That's another big lie. The fair share.
To have a good economy,
we have a good economy. We don't.
People.
That's the best part of Trump. We have a good economy. We don't need you. Every time we get a free trade guy in there, I mean, the growth has been spectacular. And you know what the growth has been? Is more so with the middle and lower classes. If you look at the actually average of Obama and Trump and jobs and everything, the growth is the same. It's identical. But if you look at who's growing, the poor stayed stuck under Obama. The rich got rich. Increases for lower middle class, working class for the last 3 years. No one's ever seen anything like this. People, unskilled labor, non-college educated. They're the ones moving up. And those are the bourgeoisie that the left can't afford to move up as they acquire their a few money.
It's not just that too, because like if you want people to get paid, who the fuck do they pay you? The rich people.
I'm talking about overall growth.
Yeah.
Overall growth. So what they try to do is they take the averages, and they say, look, he inherited it from Obama. If you take all the averages, the growth is similar. There's no doubt about it. But if you look at who's growing, when you look a little closer, it's the working class. The unskilled.
Tom, you don't understand.
The unskilled.
It's in spite of Trump.
The stock market's down because of coronavirus.
Yeah, of course.
Look, whenever there is uncertainty, those motherfuckers don't spend money.
Pull out.
Yeah, that's all it is. When the coronavirus goes, and it's not, I'm starting to feel a little better about it. It's only fucking up in Italy. I'm not surprised. Italy's a fucking mess. We haven't had one death here in Germany. You got thousands of cases, and how many dead in the States? And mostly in your state, which is kind of fucking, or the state above you. We got, 10 in Washington? What's the stats on the regular flu killing people in the United States last year? How many people get killed by the thing with coronavirus is there's no vaccine. But what about the regular flu? I think it kills a couple thousand a year. 19 in your state.
Yeah.
2 deaths in Germany?
12,000.
We have deaths in Germany?
From 12,000 deaths to...
we haven't...
1,000.
Corona. That happened today?
No, that's from the influenza.
No, I mean...
Keep that shit in Washington. Let it spread.
Germany.
Fuck it.
Death. Yeah, I wonder if... I'm starting to get... more people probably died of the regular flu.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's already... Yeah.
The
flu's
worse. Yeah, so I'm starting to...
regular flu's worse.
I got a lot of food in the fucking basement. Maybe... well, actually, if the panic happens...
The only problem is it lives
forever.
forever.
Warlord
That's the main issue.
Yeah.
It lives for like 3 days without a host. I'm pretty sure that's what the issue is.
Actually, I want to say something to a very special fan, Hangsight.
Highly contagious.
I got to say something. Hangsight was involved in apparently, I don't have all the details, in a terrible car accident. He's actually walking with a cane, not a cane, like a walker right now. I guess he got run over or something, right, bud? And he made a video. I'll put it in the next show or something like that when we do the Anision show, get him more hits. Where if you just want to watch me laugh for, what was it, like 30 minutes straight? Yeah, it says. But give some love to Hangsight. He's been I've been aware of him since 2017. He is a nice Somalian kid, and he was lucky enough for his parents to take him to the United States,
I guess, for
where they practice capitalism, not Islam. Angel, you're on the air. The warden. Thanks to the virus, I couldn't buy toilet paper. Yeah, I'm already way ahead of you. I saw this coming. Angel, you're on the air. Fly away, Angel.
Bye, Angel.
Bye-bye.
Straight to hell.
I think I said everything I had to say. You want to talk about blood types?
Let's talk about blood.
What? There's no way that's real.
Blood types?
Gotta love Tommy bashing socialism while making money off of donations.
Wait.
What? That's how socialism works. Socialism is I make you fucking donate, stupid.
No.
You don't have to donate. And if you don't, I go away. I'm providing a service. Either would be shirts or entertainment, and if you don't think it's entertaining enough, walk. That's not exactly a socialist practice. You know what it is? Give me your money or I'll put you in jail.
That's socialism right there.
That's socialism. Give me your money, I'll put you in jail. And after you can do that, that's why they go for the healthcare so much. It's a crown jewel.
Yeah.
After you do that, you got everything. We're going to spend
More
$100 trillion. If you tax everybody at 100%, you couldn't pay for what these people want, supposedly. What they really want.
That's a lot of money, I
Unless
guess,
they deliberately
for a
want to
person
break
of
the
color.
economy and seize your fucking land. And you know what? I don't think of the guy that was comfortable sleeping in a Moscow bed during the fucking Soviet Union. I don't think he's too above that. He's too quick to praise Venezuela's and praise the impoverished. Like Bernie, look at all his favorite countries. Daniel Ortega in Panama. Was it Panama? I think so. Thanks, fuckheads. Get some
That's a
more.
lot
We
of
don't
money,
have to
I
pay taxes
guess.
in the U.S. I wish I
No,
knew that.
he
I would've
sat
done it.
in there in 1988 while people were being oppressed. I sent something to Tobes recently. In I think it was 2014, he wrote on his page, it's still there, that the American dream can be found in Venezuela, more so than the United States down there. I'll look up Tobes right now and I'll put that on screen, motherfucker.
Bull fucking shit.
Bullshit? Is that what he said? Good.
No,
Good.
I'm saying bullshit. I'm saying bullshit.
Let's see. Let me show you something, because this is funny. And it's funny, Tobes never got back to me on this one. He never confirmed. He thought he was going to come in. He thought he was going to come in. He thought he was going to come in and say that I'd find that I was lying, and then I showed him the screenshot, and then I just copied. I wrote down the thing, the sentence, and I found it. Went right to Bernie's website.
See,
Praising
Tommy did it
Venezuela.
again. You guys all saw it here. He did it again. He was 95% correct. Apparently, it was Nicaragua. I think he said Venezuela.
Nicaragua. No, all I said was that Nicaragua. That was it. Yeah.
Tommy C being 95% right.
I couldn't remember it was Panama or
You do
Nicaragua.
this all the
We
time.
had a problem in Panama around the same time with some fucking drug lord, and I just got it confused.
No, I know, but this is what I'm
But
talking
I
about.
want to show this. Where's fucking Toad? Did he delete his Twitter?
Let me go look for it. Give me a minute.
Send me his Twitter, because then I'll get. I'm not going to show his DMs, but I'm going to show you what I showed him. Well, I'll just tell you about them. He didn't say anything fucking DMing or anything. You got it?
Yes, it's loading.
Fire it on Discord. I want to show you guys something. This is what Bernie Sanders wrote. Yeah, let's see if I lied about this. Here we go.
What would you do if you just load the page and it was blocked?
Yeah, that would have been fun.
Just couldn't fucking do anything.
That would have been fucking funny.
Was it November 2019 July. No, he's talking about the Irishman. That's probably when they yelled him to stay the fuck out of Germany.
No, Terry, we were not. We were not going to do that.
He said he wanted me to send him that thing. I think he came in thinking I didn't have it. And I actually didn't have it in front of me.
This kid's trolling. It's funny, though.
Oh, no. If you live in the United States, so much. What?
I think he meant
Oh
love.
my
If you
God.
love the
Yo, if
U.S.
you
so
love-
much,
if you-
why are you in Germany? Free healthcare is nice, huh?
It's not free.
That's definitely a troll.
It's not free.
That's-
It's first of all, it's
No
not
way.
free. It's not free, and it's not single payer either, and it's the best fucking healthcare in all of Europe. It's a little more socialist than I like.
Is he trolling?
Not talking about that, like
It's
that
like a
part of it at
copay.
all.
It's
His
really a
kid's also
copay.
over here, so that's something.
No,
but-
I might have to. Yeah.
Served here, I don't know.
And by the way, my wife, I don't get any of the fucking, like, you would get a bunch of benefits that I don't. Let's see. I can't fucking find it. It was after, was it that long ago?
Is it an oldie?
Yeah, it's a real oldie then. I know I said it.
Burst. It never happened.
I'm going to find it.
It never happened.
Exactly. We went from 95% to 0%. We're slowly decreasing.
I'm going to find it. I'm going to find it here.
I think
here it
you
is.
tried
I
to
found
find
it.
this before.
You found it?
I found it.
Oh, yeah, there it is. It's from...
I found it. These days, the
Router.
American dream is more apt to be realized in South America, in such places like Ecuador.
You're not showing the
Venezuela.
screen. Are you just not?
No,
gonna
I'm
show
not.
it?
I'm not showing it right now, but I'm
Okay.
gonna put it the link. Hang on.
Okay.
Venezuela and Argentina, where incomes are actually more equal today than they were. So everybody's poor. Everybody's equally poor than they were in the land of Horatio Alger. Who's the Banana Republic? So that's what Bernie Sanders thinks of our country. And here it is on the page, and you could put this link in the chat. And he talks about how wonderful in 2011, no less, that this great country of Venezuela and how South America, with all their radical socialism, he's
That's a
never
lot of money, I
seen
guess, for
a
a
dictatorship
person of color.
that he didn't like. Here you go. You didn't convert this to Ron? Sorry, I didn't convert the Ron. Thank you so much, Joseph. There you go. There's Bernie Sanders praising another dictatorship. People starving to death now. It always goes the same route. Every time. Every time. Every time. It's like fucking clockwork.
Yeah.
When the lefties get in charge, it all goes to shit and it's everybody else's fault. Open up the economy. Leave the American people alone. And you will decrease unemployment dramatically. You will get more innovation. And you will get more freedom from government, which is what they don't want you to have. Will it be perfect? Will there still be poverty restriction? Absolutely. But there'll always be a chance to get out. Unlike the socialist paradise that Bernie fucking seems to praise. And all those places are violent and nothing but bloodshed. Nothing but bloodshed, death, and poverty. Nothing but bloodshed, death, and poverty. That's what you get. Bernie Sanders slept in a country where they routinely executed dissidents. Religious. He slept, had a honeymoon over there, and praised them. He wined and dined with them. How is that different than dining with Nazis? It's not. It's not. He wined, dined, drank, fucked his fucking wife, praised the Soviet Union. And now he wants to be president.
Trauma alerts out. Who fucking cares?
I guess I'll do that tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm not railing about social democracy. I'm telling you flat out, you guys are a bunch of liars, and your social democracy
That's a lot of
lends
money,
to
I guess, for a
total
person of
communist
color.
dictatorship, because it has to. You have to control everything that fails going forward and eventually just take over everything. I remember when Obama had his healthcare program. And when that didn't work, well, we need single payer. If that single payer, the government needs to take complete control over it. Then the doctors become the employers of the United. It just keeps going and going and going. And when it breaks and it collapses, that's when the guns come out. Every time. I'm saying you're a commie larva. That's what I'm saying. You become it. There's no butterfly wings either. You're just a disgusting moth.
Oh yeah, Tommy. Tomorrow, the Warzone is gonna come out, and you can go to Gulag.
Super.
Ah,
Let's go watch Keemstar. How about that?
I could meet Bernie over there.
Tomorrow, we'll do the Onision thing. So why don't you guys go and enjoy that? Thank you for letting me get my socialist rant out. And what I think of these disgusting commies. Most liberals are just sympathizers, if you really think about it.
This is the almighty infinite, independent excellence. Devil fighting, rebel titan, weed smoking alchemist. Fake identities, okay, you cool with Jason Bourne. Running with these Wolverines, okay, you about to catch a storm. I ain't never been a liar, got tired of niggas playing me. Head in my legs like she about to catch a pedigree. Chi-town to King's home, slapping fives, black stones, 6 mile to danger zones. Bullets look like waffle cones. Folk affiliated the evolution of Machiavelli. Don't make me lead them eagles to you like I'm Chip Kelly. They feel my struggle, I express it through my hip hop. I'm about to make it hard to breathe. Here's a headline.
Oh, fucking negative.
Oh, negative. Hey, why don't you have a success somewhere running riot for your ideology? Point to one.